powered by the Inside the Birds podcast. It is brought to you by the Fanatic Sportsbook at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. Adam Caplan's here today as the Eagles get some big news on the injury front. Usually Adam is on Friday's show for Football at 4, and we talk injuries. Well, we got injury news at the top of today's show. Adam Caplan, let's bring you right in and talk a little bit about this. A procedure on both shoulders here. And this is interesting because they get the procedure on both shoulders. He hopes to be ready for the playoff run. Kind of ambiguous on what this all is here. So how long has this been an issue here for Jalen Carter?
All right, Mike, so let's go back to our reporting when he was drafted. You know, we talked a lot about on your show and all of our platforms about, the off-the-field concerns. It's been well detailed. But what we added that really wasn't out there very much, if at all, was that he had a shoulder problem. And clubs were concerned about it. It wasn't that he couldn't play with it. It's how long could he go? Could he have an 8-year career, 10-year? There was a problem. We didn't know it was both, though. Now, what the thing is, Mike, we don't know if one more, did something else happen recently? We know he had the bad shoulder. In fact, Mike, he came to training camp. If you recall, the Eagles would put out their training camp injury report, and the first day it said shoulder. I was like, wow, this is. He's had shoulder. He's been on the injury report a lot with the shoulder issue since he was drafted. But we don't know what happened to the other shoulder. But both were done. So, Mike, remember now, this is a concern. Yes, he's had this cleaned up, and we don't know exactly what kind of procedure. If it was just a scope, fine. But it doesn't mean that he's going to be back in 2 weeks. You worry about this long term, Mike. That's. There wasn't that concern that we got from clubs that we talked to. A lot of people in scout, guys who had the areas from Georgia. But it was never like, okay, well, he may not play 6 or 7 years. It was that it could go. This could be a recurring issue. But you worry about this because shoulders, man. It can become a problem.
Right. So. What would have to kind of happen for him to play here? I mean, he's played obviously through the season last week. Obviously, it sounded like Vic Fangio did indicate that, he's having some shoulder issues. Now we're at this stage of the game. What has to happen for him to play this season?
Yeah, so basically, Mike, he's got to get clear for contact on both shoulders, Mike. He's got to feel that he can do whatever he needs to do to play, Mike. That's the thing. He can't worry about it. He's got to feel comfortable. I mean, that's... there's certain type of injuries that you have because you said this at the top. We don't know exactly what got repaired on the shoulder. Was it labrum? We don't really know. In fact, I have to go back and talk to some of the area scouts that I know who gave us information for that draft, if they remember exactly what it was. Because it's been 3 years, so sometimes the guys they may not have that information available. But he's got to get cleared for contact on both shoulders. It's actually very important. And he's got to feel confident in it. And then, Vic Fangio, and this is the thing with Vic, and a lot of younger coaches who are concerned about their job, they may, like it's the medical, by the way, he's got to get cleared medically from the medical staff. But from a coaching standpoint, some guys are like, this is our best player on defense. We got to play him. Well, yeah, Vic would like to have him, but if he can't do his job well, he won't play him the normal amount of snaps. As much as Vic loves to, I hate to say this, but there's evidence of it not only here but with the Niners, because I was told that he will overwork players. Like he plays starters a lot of snaps. He doesn't like to rotate very much. He did in this game because nobody played well in the defensive front. So Mike, he's got to look right to play his normal number of snaps. So this is something we'll be monitoring. You can't just plug and play somebody. He's got to be right physically. So let's just be careful of assuming, and that he'll be good as new. Now, what Greg Cosell told us on Inside the Tape, because I asked him a couple weeks ago, he said, finally Carter starts looking like the Carter of old, because, he's not had a great season. He's down in production. The tape's not as good.
Yeah.
And then recently, Mike, he started playing much better, but no, I'm not talking last week's game. Games leading up to last week's game.
Right. We'll get into because obviously we're talking a little bit about him not having him now, how to replace him. Real quick, for what it's worth, Pro Football Doc David Shell says he thinks it was likely PRP injections rather than surgery because they said a procedure. They did not say surgery. He'll miss a couple of weeks. The Eagles could keep him off IR if they need him back, but if not, he may sit out the remainder of the regular season. So there's a lot of ambiguous talk about he could come back. He might be ready for a playoff run. But I thought Les Bowen put out an interesting tweet. He said, I don't know any surgeries where you can come back and play defensive tackle in like 2 weeks.
Well, no, but if it's plasma replacement, actually, no, it was funny. It was actually DeMarco Murray. I had a report when DeMarco Murray was an Eagle that he had PRP. He had the injection, and that got him back. Actually, not too long. I don't remember the exact timeline. This is 10 years ago. God, I cannot believe it's 10 years ago. But the bottom line is, that's when you talk about a procedure. That's what we know Dr. Chow. I know exactly what he's talking about. Mm-hmm. There's no way you could have both shoulders done and be back in 2 weeks. So that would explain that. Yeah, that's a fair point.
All right. So, what is the plan? Who do they have? I saw last week, I was looking at Andrew DeCecco, who usually puts out the snap counts, and I actually noticed that Ojomo played one more snap than Carter did last week. One was at like 62, the other one was at 61. You had Jordan Davis, you had Byron Young, and then you have practice squad guys.
Right, so what's going to happen is, Mike, it's going to be Byron Young, and then Ty Robinson's next up. Now, what I will tell you, because he had a good training camp, I know they released him to get him in the practice squad. That's Gabe Hall. Gabe Hall had a good training camp. Like he did a good job. I know he has great length, but he doesn't have the quickness that Vic Fangio would like. But he's a good football player. He's a guy that needs to get a chance here. But the issue now with Ty Robinson is this. We've been asked this, so I'll just explain it to you. He had a tech issue in training camp. He didn't have a good training camp. He's a flash player. He needs a lot of work. He needs a full offseason, Mike, where he could work on technique with Clint Hurtt, the defensive line coach, because he's a guy I know they were excited about when they drafted him. They thought they got a good value. He's very popular in scouting circles, Ty Robinson, but he just wasn't ready to contribute, and that's what's happened this season. Byron Young's been a nice story. Number 94, you'll see him on Sunday. Not Sunday, Monday night, excuse me. I need to get the dates right. Against the Chargers, Mike. So when you watch this game, Mike, look, this is the problem, okay? Carter was the most double-team defensive tackle in the National Football League by the metrics that the Eagles had, and he gets double-teamed a lot still. He causes havoc. There's no question. Even when he's not quite himself, he's still very good. Ojomo is not a power player. This is where they miss Milton Williams. Milton Williams is a phenomenal football player, and unfortunately he's on an IR with a high ankle sprain, but he's a power player. You could two-gap him. You could one-gap him. He's so good, and they don't have that guy without Carter. Milton Williams would be the guy right now if Carter wasn't playing. But they're just going to have Jordan Davis. Look, he doesn't rush the passer well, although he's done a little bit better. This impacts everything they do, Mike. Rush and cover and rush. It really does. I'm just telling you.
Listen. We've seen them play without him on defense. It hasn't gone well.
Good. And I'm just going to tell you because I won't be with you. I think Jeff and I are going to be switching spots. So I'll be with you on Monday. I'll just tell you now. All week I was going to pick the Eagles. I picked the Bears last week. I was going to pick the Eagles to beat the Chargers. We'll see. Now we have to see if Herbert's playing. I know he's planning to play. He made a very kind of play, but we'll see if he gets cleared. But it's going to be very hard for them to win because their defense did not play well last week, and it's going to be hard to beat the Chargers without Carter.
Well, so the impact on the defense until he gets back is you are light there. You're also looking at Marcus Epps, most likely stepping in there. He's been out for pretty much the whole side. Hasn't played a lot of defense here at all. I guess the Eagles tried to put in a claim for Slay. He gets picked up by the Bills. He then retires here. I mean, this is all, the Eagles in real time trying to, hang on for dear life with some of the impact on some of these injuries to their defense.
It's a tough deal, Mike. You basically have to change the way you look at this, Mike, in terms of this game, and Marcus Epps going in. The only issue is Marcus Epps has to look like himself coming off his injury. If he does, he'll start over Sidney Brown. Sidney Brown, as a friend of mine in scouting said, I stole this line. It's the funniest thing I heard all season. He said Sidney Brown is the Keely Ringo of safeties. He's a really good special teams player. You really don't want him out there on defense. It's just one of those things. He doesn't cover very well. He's a box safety. And that's what he is, Mike. It's just you don't draft box safeties that early. As much as he was, he's that gold star player, whatever they call him, red star. for character. He just doesn't cover well, and that's shown up.
Yep, he certainly athletic, flashy. He kind of reminds you a little bit of like a Troy Polamalu, where he's just throwing his body all over the place.
In the box.
Yep.
Yeah, in the box. Sure.
Coverage is a problem. All right, there you go. There's the update with Jalen Carter. He will be out for the game Monday, and quite frankly, could be out for a lot longer than that. We'll see.
Yep.
We'll keep our eyes on that. Adam Caplan for today's football on 97.3 ESPN. Thanks, Adam.
Thank you.
All right, Adam pinch hitting today for DeCecco, and of course, DeCecco will be on tomorrow's show